Do you want to know who the best hard supports on attack are in the game of Rainbow Six Siege? Well, look no further. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a tier list for Year 7, Season 3 on the best supports on attack. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So before I get into the tier list, I just want to let you know what a support in my eyes means. The term support is pretty flexible. It's anybody that supports the team with their utility. So this can be hard breachers. These can be people that help hard breachers get the wall open, like Thatcher, Callie, stuff like that. But it can also be really unorthodox people, like Zero or like Monty. Again, supporting the team with utility, stuff like flank watch. So I would consider those really flex operators, but we're combining flex and support into the same category today. So just make sure you remember that whenever I'm giving you this operator tier list. With that being said, let's get started. First of all, I want to put Thermite in the S tier. Thermite's an S tier hard breacher. I don't care what any of you say. He is the hardest to use in terms of like actually getting his hard breach down, but he makes the biggest hole, and he has 2 of them with flash grenades and a very good weapon. So he's always going to be S tier. I don't really think there was any dispute about that. Next, we have Maverick, the uncounterable breacher in the game. Very slow to use, but again, uncounterable, so S tier for him. He lost his grenades, but he still has a great gun, so he's more focused on actually helping his team than being able to just make a hole in the wall and throw a grenade through. He's more team-oriented, I guess you would say. But still S tier, still very good. Next we have Thatcher, and because of the changes with EMP grenades, he's not as useful as he once was. Not to say he still isn't bad, he's great for countering Cade trickers, bandit trickers, and stuff like that, and for that reason, I'm still going to put him in the A tier, but he wasn't the monster he once was, and that's why he's not S anymore. I don't think people are going to be banning him as much, and you shouldn't, because you can just bring EMP grenades. Next, I'm going to talk about Monty. Monty has the highest win rate in the game of an operator, the highest win rate. If you bring a Monty, you have the highest chance of winning a game. It's true. You can look at the win deltas on the Rainbow Six Siege Ubisoft website. But for that reason, in terms of actual ranked play, right, you're talking the majority of players being in gold and platinum, he's not that good because he takes a lot of skill to play, and a lot of times you're not going to be as skilled. So because of that, I'm just going to stick him into the B tier for now. I might change that around as I get other operators into this tier list, but for now, he goes in the B tier. Next is Callie. They did buff Callie. She has 4 charges, and her gun has less recoil and has a faster fire rate. But there's still the initial problem of the fact that her gadget destroys teammates' gadgets. Now, I think she's going to start being used more like a Zofia and less like a Thatcher in terms of like getting soft breaches open with castles, or getting deployable shields taken away, or Malusi's gadgets taken away. But the whole thing with Callie is you need to be sitting outside and using her sniper long range, and you can't really get the utility that's in the site with Callie, and that's why she's used for walls. So I think inherently she has kind of a character issue, and for right now, I'm going to place her at the top of B tier because of this. Next, let's talk about IQ. Now, IQ is not very good. I'm going to put her in C tier for now, just because she doesn't provide much utility to the team. You can do what she does, but with drones. If you want the commando, you can run Amaru. If you want the commando, you can now run Grim, right? So there's just better stuff to do with her. She's a great counter to Valkyrie, but so is Dokkaebi, right? So just overall not very good, very underwhelming, and that's why I'm putting her in the C tier for now. Now going into it, I have Hibana in the S tier. Pretty self-explanatory. She's the most versatile hard breach in the game, but also with a very good gun, with flash grenades, and she's a ranged hard breach, making it very safe to play her. That is the same appeal that comes with Ace, and Ace I'm going to put at the bottom of S tier. Ace is, I think by theory, probably the worst hard breacher in the game, but he's still a great hard breacher nonetheless, and he's still an S tier operator. He has a great gun, actually the best gun in the game, the AK-12, and he is a ranged hard breacher. His hard breach is also the quickest hard breach to explode in the game, making him good for certain situations. But I still think all of the other operators outshine them for what they do, and that's why I'm placing him at the bottom of S tier. Next, we have Capitão. Capitão, I think, is A tier. Capitão is good in the sense that he is very unexpected, and his firebolts can flush out defenders in very common positions for you to then follow up with a gunfight and kill them. But also, he can create one-way smokes. The smokes are very versatile. One-way smokes are essentially smokes that you shoot at the top of the ceiling to make it to where if the defender peeks a smoke, their head is in the smoke, right? Because it's so up high, so they can't see, but you can still see their feet. So you can see them, they can't see you. Very good use of the smoke, very good for plants, very good for executes. And overall a very underrated operator in terms of hard support, so I'm going to put him in A. The next operator I'm going to talk about is Flores. Now Flores, I want to put in S tier as an operator by himself, but in terms of actually being a hard support, considering he's really not one, I'm going to put him at the top of A tier. He has 4 Rotero drones that are able to destroy any soft destruction that is needed to be destroyed. Hard to really counter unless you're playing mute, but even then the mute gemmers are so easy to shoot and easy to find that you can find ways to get these Flores drones in. And if you're a good Twitch player, you're probably a good Flores player too in terms of not getting your drone shot. So great counter to deployable shields. Flores does essentially what Cali does, but better, with the 4 soft destruction explosives, and he's overall just very, very good with his loadout too, so that's why I'm putting him in the A tier for now. So the next hard support that I'm going to talk about is Sens. Sens is going in the C tier for me. His gadget is extremely hard to use in the sense that his hitbox on his gadget is hard to use, so you'll think your Sens gadget is going to go one way, and then it goes a completely different way, and it gets in the way more than it helps. His gun selection is also pretty dog ass. His new AR is really hard to control, but his 417 is actually really fun to play around. The only thing is a DMR. If you know how to play DMRs though, he's pretty fun, and you can do his job, but with smokes, and the smokes do better and are more reliable. So I definitely think Sens is C tier for now, unless they change how his gadget works. Next, I'm going to talk about Nomad. Nomad is going in the S tier. She is a flex operator. I'm just merging the flex and support roles into one video because there's not a lot of hard supports on attack. That being said, Nomad is an S tier operator. She is the best flank watch in the game, completely counters runouts, and has a great loadout with flash grenades and a great gun selection as well. So she will always be S tier for what she does. Enough said about that. Going to her counterpart, Gridlock. I think Gridlock is a solid B, maybe A tier pick for now. I'm gonna put her at the top of B. So Gridlock is good, not for flank watch, not for runouts like Nomad is, but she's good for sight control. She's good for locking the grid of the site so that attackers can't rotate to you whenever you're taking space. It's a very niche thing that you'd want, and you can kind of do the same thing with Nomad if you have air jabs left, but a lot of times you won't if you're a good Nomad player. So Gridlock has her own little category, but you're just not going to pick her a lot of times over the people that are above in the S and A tier. That's why she's in the B tier. Going into Osa. Osa is an A tier support player. She brings 2 very good deployable shields that you can see through with a great gun selection as well, and that's why I'm putting her in the A tier. And then going into our final support operator on attack, again, kind of flex, but we're kind of my support for the video. I'm going to put Zero in B tier. Zero in theory is like really, really good in terms of like what he's able to do, but in terms of actuality and how you're probably going to play as Zero in the round, he's just really good for flank watch because you're not going to be able to use him for any sort of wall denial ever, because again, there's always going to be Thatcher, there's always going to be EMP grenades. So I think Zero is a solid B tier pick, but he's really good on maps like Bank or Chalet, where there's a lot of open space to hide his cameras effectively. They also have a taser on them, and they can also go through walls. So Zero is still pretty good with the MP7 as well, but not good enough to go in the S or A tier at all. With that being said, I think that's pretty much it for the tier list. Nobody on D tier for today because again, we're talking about support operators, right? They're always going to be semi-useful if played correctly. So no one's really complete trash. There's just some people that, you know, could use a rework or a buff like IQ or Sens. And with that being said, that's pretty much it for the tier list, guys. If you want to get better at the game of Rainbow Six Siege, I am definitely the person to subscribe to. I make guides every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm only going to start posting more and more until I post daily. So don't forget to sub to the channel, like the video if you liked it. My name's Alka, and I will see you in the next one.